Hello everybody and welcome back to Buckeye Politics. It's me, your favorite Ohioan. So today we're going to be doing a quick video on the August 2nd primaries coming up this Tuesday. I'm unfortunately going to be out of town, so there will be no live stream for these primaries. Very sad. But that said, my good friend American Predictions is going to be live streaming. This is going to be a huge live stream. Link to the stream will be in the pinned comment of this video, so if you're interested in watching a live stream, please check out my friend American Predictions commentary on this on these primaries, because this is a very important date for the midterm elections. And after this, we're pretty much in the general election zone. We pretty much have all the major candidates decided, and we'll pretty much be in the general election. So we're gonna start by looking at all these primaries, all these races. We're going to start in the great state of Arizona, looking at the Arizona Senate election. Who will take on Mark Kelly? So Mark Kelly is the incumbent Democrat senator. He is not challenged by anyone. He's going to easily get the Democratic nomination. But the big question was the Republican primary. So in the Republican primary, we had several candidates, including Mark Brnovich, who was the Attorney General, and he had an early lead. Businessman Jim Lehman, Thiel Foundation President Blake Masters, as well as some other smaller candidates. No one cares about these two guys. They're not polling high. It's basically between these three. And if we go down here, you can see polling was originally easily favoring Mark Brnovich, the Attorney General. However, a few polls kind of went back and forth, and as you can see, Blake Masters is now having a solid lead. Blake Masters is endorsed by former President Donald Trump, and he is by far, in my opinion, the best candidate in this race. Blake Masters, this guy's a genius. This guy is calculated. He's smart. He's young. This guy's a chat. He's everything we need to take back Arizona. He's an America First warrior. He's great on the issues. Very electable. He's a young and super smart guy. And he's currently leading in the polls. He's endorsed by Trump. These few polls here that show Jim Lehman up are all done by Battleground Connect. This pollster is in favor of him, and as you can see, Masters is within the margin of error in all of these anyways. So Masters is going to win this primary, probably about 5 to 10 points, probably about 10 points or so. He'll be the nominee for Senate, and he should be able to defeat Mark Kelly. Mark Kelly is going to be a very tough opponent to beat. He's great at campaigning. He has a great story. He has a lot of name recognition. But Blake Masters is a very smart guy, and if there's anyone in this race who could beat him, it would be Blake Masters, excuse me. So Blake Masters has my complete and total support. He's currently leading in the polls. I expect him to win by about 10 points. Staying in the state of Arizona, we're going to look at the Arizona gubernatorial election. It's open. No, we have several Republicans and several Democrats running. Looking at the Republican primary, it's basically a two-way race between former TV anchor Kari Lake and Regent Karen Taylor Robinson. Now, Karen Taylor Robinson is abysmal. She is awful. She's literally just Doug Ducey part 2. She's an absolute rhino. She is married to like a 95-year-old billionaire. She's a gold digger. She's literally married to a 95-year-old billionaire. She's the definition of a gold digger. She's a neocon. She's a very moderate Republican. She's campaigning with Doug Ducey, Mike Pence, and she's unelectable. She has no energy. She has no excitement to her. She is literally just a generic rich lady, and she's also doing horrible things with her scams. She has like for example, there's this whole thing where her campaign was sending these emails and texts to senior citizens who are registered Republicans across the country and asking for donations to, like, I don't know, support Trump's reelection, build the wall, do things like that. Not even saying who she was. They were just saying for these conservative causes, help end abortion, and then people would donate to her, and it would automatically her campaign set it so those donations would automatically repeat every month. So she was literally scamming senior citizens out of their money to support her campaign when they didn't even know who she was. So when she's literally married to a billionaire. She is scamming senior citizens when she is married to a billionaire. That's all you need to know about this lady. And she's a moderate Republican. She's not good on the issues. She would literally just be Doug Ducey part 2. Meanwhile, Kari Lake is also, like I said, an America First warrior. She's leading in all the polls. She's a great candidate, very electable. She's well known across the state. She was the former TV anchor. If you look, she has all the energy. If you look at her at the Trump rally, everyone there loves her. She's a great candidate. Honestly, I have nothing against her. She is going to actually tackle immigration, which is a huge issue in Arizona. Everyone says, like, oh, no one cares about immigration in Arizona. But no, immigration is a huge issue in Arizona. A lot of people care about that. And Kari Lake is actually going to declare an invasion. She's going to, through some article in the Constitution, states can declare an invasion and take control of the border through, like, the federal government. I'm not sure. There's some constitutional loophole. But she's literally going to build the wall through Arizona. She's going to bypass the federal government and build the wall if she's elected governor. And she's leading in all the polls. She's good on the issues. She's literally the definition of America First Republican. Great on the issues. I support her. Shown probably by 12. If by 12, probably closer to 15, honestly. She's leading very handily against Karen Taylor Robinson. She'll probably win by about 10 to 15 points. Looking over the state of Missouri, very critical Senate race here. Missouri is pretty much a safe Republican state. However, with a Republican who wins this race, the primary is going to be the nominee. Everyone here running is incredible on the issues. Like this is definitely the best field so far. We have the former governor Eric Greitens, who is literally the definition of a populist. He took on special interests and he, as governor, he took on special interests. He tried to get money out of politics. He just put the people of Missouri first. But unfortunately, a lot of he is kind of scandal plagued. Now, I'm not going to say my personal opinion, Aaron Greitens. I personally think Eric Greitens, when looking at his scandals, they're iffy because, like, on one hand, basically, to summarize, he is accused of beating his son and doing some sexual assault stuff, some pretty horrible things as governor. But that said, all the evidence is circumstantial, and he has not yet been charged. And as we say, guilty until proven innocent. But Josh Hawley, who is the senator from Missouri, he does not like Eric Greitens. Josh Hawley was actually the former attorney general of Missouri, and he oversaw this case, and he is not a fan of Eric Greitens. So that tells me there's probably something there. But yeah, Eric Greitens, he's great on the issues, and he was a good governor, but he is scandal plagued. In looking at like his personal life, it's kind of iffy. So personally, I support Eric Greitens in this race, but I'm not like endorsing him. I hope he wins, but if he loses, which it looks like he's going to lose, and that's not the end of the world to me. So yeah, like I said, he's good on the issues, but he has a very scandal-plagued history. Whether that's special interests and lobbyists trying to take him down because he was actually doing good things, and like dark money from the left, or if he actually is just a horrible person, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like I said, Vicky Hartzler, she's not bad either. She's a solid representative, but I don't think she's going to win the nomination. And Billy Long is who I would ideally support. This guy's an actual Chad auctioneer. I love Billy Long. This guy's so funny. This guy's awesome. But unfortunately, he's polling pretty poorly, only at like 6% or so, 7% against 24, 25. So he's not going to win. I would support Billy Long if he had a chance. Eric Schmidt's also a good candidate. He is the current Attorney General of Missouri. So he's a solid. All these people are solid representatives. They all have great. They're all great on the issues. So although Eric Greitens is the best on the issues because of his personal life, he's probably not going to win. If we're looking at polling, Eric Schmidt, the Attorney General, not Greitens, Eric Schmidt is currently leading. Now Eric Schmidt is a great candidate. Honestly, I support him. All of them are great candidates. And Greitens, he would be. He's an iffy candidate. Like I said, he's good on the issues, but some of his personal stories it makes you wonder. So I do support Eric Schmidt in this race. Or I shouldn't say I don't. I support Eric Greitens in this race, but not like I'm not super in for him. I'm like like I mean I like him, but I'm not like fully in with him. So yeah, this race they all have their pros. No matter what, it's going to be the Republicans are going to win this seat. It looks like Eric Schmidt's going to be the nominee, which is I don't mind him. He's good. He's a solid Republican. He says he'll vote against Mitch McConnell, which is always good. So like I said, all the people running are great. It's just Greitens is a little bit better. And now we're going to look at the Michigan gubernatorial election, critical race. We've got to try to defeat Gretchen Whitmer, who is a horrible governor of the state of Michigan. Her lockdowns are just awful, and all she's talking about is abortion, baby killing. So she's just awful. And we had a lot of good candidates. We had a lot of good candidates, and he also had a very cursed primary. If we go down, looking at polling, James Craig, who was the police chief of Detroit during the riots back in 2020, who did a great job maintaining law and order, he had this nomination locked up. Then some iffy stuff went down. The Board of Elections said that James Craig did not have enough signatures, even though he claims he did. He's actually suing the Board of Elections now because he says that James Craig is claiming that the Democrats told the Michigan Supreme Court to disqualify him because he had the best chance of winning and he was the front runner. Is that true? Not going to comment on that, but yeah, he's basically there's some shady stuff went down. Not going to lie. And then so Ryan Kelly took a solid lead in the polls. This race was pretty much neck and neck. This guy Ryan Kelly was actually arrested by the FBI because he was involved in the January 6th riots. And so so he kind of fell after that. And that left a pretty big opening where we saw Kevin Rinke, a businessman, Garrett Soldano, and Tudor Dixon. Now, Tudor Dixon, I support her. She is the best candidate in this race. Soldano is good, but I just don't see a way he can win. And Tudor Dixon is honestly a little bit better on the issues, although they're both great. So I support Tudor Dixon also recently received the endorsement from Donald Trump. So Dixon's endorsed by Trump. She's great on the issues. She has a great background in Michigan, and the Democrats are scared of her. Whitmer is scared of her. She has spent $2 million trying to make it so Tudor Dixon loses because she knows that Kevin Rinke or Soldano would probably lose to her. So Dixon is a solid nominee. She'll do a great job uniting the Republican base. To win in Michigan, Republicans have got to unite the more suburban types near Grand Rapids, the more traditional Republican voters, more moderate Republicans, as well as the more populist America First blue-collar types, such as places in Macomb County and the rural areas. Soldano would do great with the rural areas and the working class votes, but he would get destroyed in the suburbs. Kevin Rinke is just not a good candidate. And while Tudor Dixon has a history with manufacturing, she's relatively populist in economics, very family-oriented, so she would do well in the rurals and the working class areas, while she also focuses a lot on education, and she's also moderate enough that she would do well in the more suburban areas, which is why I think Tudor Dixon is the perfect nominee for this race. She's leading in the polls for the primary. She has the endorsement of Donald Trump. She's going to be the Republican nominee, and she's going to go on to defeat Gretchen Whitmer. This race is going to be very close, but I think Tudor Dixon is the best candidate to win this race. Now we're going to look at actually a ballot initiative instead of Kansas. So instead of Kansas, obviously Roe v. Wade was overturned. Very based, very epic. You love to see it. So anyway, a lot of states, as you know, banned abortion based on their state legislatures. Well, Kansas has a referendum. So in Kansas, there's a referendum on the ballot on August 2nd to say which if passed, this referendum would give the Kansas state legislature the ability to ban abortion in the state. Now, if it doesn't pass, obviously it would not. The state abortion would remain legal in Kansas. But that said, if the Republicans took control of the governorship and gained a few more seats in November, which are expected to, they could still outlaw abortion. So this is kind of just like all this would do would give the legislature the ability to ban abortion sooner, because Kansas will probably ban abortion if we win back the governorship, which we should, because Kansas is a very conservative state. So this was kind of going to be, but this is going to be interesting to see how abortion is going to affect the midterms. Obviously, a lot of people are saying because Roe v. Wade was overturned, a lot of Democrats are going to be turning out to support pro-choice candidates. Now, that said, that's kind of been iffy. It's been a whole month, and Republicans basically still lead in the generic ballot. It really didn't have much of an effect. I don't think. It doesn't look like it's going to. But this is going to be interesting just to see who's going to turn out more, because primary elections in the middle on August 2nd really aren't going to have – you're going to have pretty low turnout. But if pro-choice voters are very energized, like people say they are, then this referendum will probably get destroyed. But it's very interesting and for a while, I thought that that's what would happen. I thought that this referendum would probably not pass, because although Kansas is a very conservative state, there is a large suburban, moderate, liberal growing part of the state near the Topeka area, near the Missouri border, that I thought would turn out heavily and overturn this. But that said, actually, if we look at some polling, the Kansas City-based firm Coefficient, 47% of respondents say they plan to vote yes. So currently, 47% of people polled say that they will vote yes on giving the Kansas State Legislature the ability to outlaw abortion. 43% say they plan to vote no. 10% were undecided. So currently in the polls, yes is winning. This is really interesting to look at, because currently, I mean, this is only one poll, but it is based on Kansas City. I'm sure there's other polls. I'm not really sure, but currently, as of now, according to polling, the voters plan on giving the Kansas State Legislature the ability to outlaw abortion, which is huge. That's crazy. That is interesting to look at. I mean, yes, sure, it's Kansas, a very conservative state, and yes, it is very close, a lot of undecided, but the fact that it's even leading is just crazy to me. That is so based. I mean, Kansas, that you love to see it, and that makes me think that this is probably, that Roe v. Wade is not going to be a big issue in the midterms, and actually pro-life voters are going to be just as energized because they want to keep abortion illegal. So with that, thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like and subscribe for more.